I will snatch their patent so that we will take over. And yes, we can do that. Yes, we can do that. Yes, we can do that.
Snatch somebody's patent.
The question is, do you have the will to do it? I have the will to do it.
I think this was a masterclass in sticking to
that sound. She said, you know what a patent is? A patent is like if you create some, you could get a patent like that says that you own this. This is what my creation is. Yeah, she just said you could just snatch that.
She's talking about something specifically though. She's talking about confiscating private property from corporations. That's what she's talking about.
Who posted it?
Charlie Kirk. Yeah, she's talking about confiscating patents owned by individuals and companies for their product and seizing private property.
Yes, we can do that. It's the question is, do you have the will to do it? I have the will to do it.
Your eyes open.
I think this was a masterclass in sticking to the script, keeping things very voter friendly, keeping the details incredibly light, and not talking about how you have to pay for it all. If Donald Trump is sort of Harry Potter in terms of the magician for his policies, this was a bit Hermione Granger. It wasn't even just about not paying for it. She said she was going to reduce the deficit despite all these giveaways as well. And I understand that's politics at this moment, but I think your point is so accurate when she was talking about all of the things that are impacting people, whether it's high prices, and we know prices have soared over this administration, unaffordability crisis in housing. I mean, house prices, the median house price is up 20% over the past 3 years. So she did a great job, I think, of changing the narrative, which is reflected so poorly on President Biden, to try and make it more optimistic about what she's going to do. Just to give you a snapshot of some of the things that she said in the price gouging comments, I just don't know how that federal ban is going to work. If they're talking about directly targeting prices, it will require some form of act of Congress. Isolating how and where price gouging is taking place is very difficult. She talked about the profits of grocery stores. Their margins are incredibly thin. For every dollar sale, they make profits of around 1 to 3 cents. Just try proving that their price gouging is going to be incredibly difficult beyond anything else. On housing, she said at the end of her first term, she hopes to have those 3 million houses built. But in order to do that, a lot of these home builders, and they are saying that they'll provide incentives, they're going to have to borrow money, and we know interest rates are really high. So a lot of that's going to depend on mortgage rates coming down, which could end up fueling house prices even higher if people start buying. But also home builders are going to want to be able to borrow at lower rates as well. I mean, I can pick out a whole host of other things where the devil's going to be in the detail, and it's all going to be about the execution. But I will say very quickly, I like the way that she compared and contrasted with Trump over what his impact will be, and I have to say it's inflationary in many of these cases.
I'm not gonna lie, she definitely
she grilled
exposed a lot. I'm just confused on where the hell she came from.
She was basically this sounds like a good plan, but she was like, but how they do it is just not so easy.
Oh no, she's saying she said all the execution of all this is gonna cause more inflation. She says inflationary. All this stuff is gonna sound good up front, but on the back end, it's going to have a negative effect. Almost like the government being in control of everything, and they're putting it in your face as, oh, we're going to
put you in more debt.
Yeah, we're going to put more money in your pocket, but it also just financially and economically hurts the country.
Well, I guess every bread ain't bad.
No, yeah. I was just wondering why, like,
hey, they messed me up.
She's the messenger for this.
Hey, man, they messed me up.
Our boy Pierce, man, he a good dude.
Good bread. I wonder how's he doing
English.
that?
He's English.
That's all the same shit to me.
Yeah.
Freeberg, what's your take on this reported by the Washington Post and I think confirmed by Politico move by Kamala Harris?
Thank you for asking.
Price fix.
Thank you for asking.
Do you have any feelings on it? Yes. Yeah.
I unequivocally hate socialism. Socialism destroys innovation, destroys productivity, and destroys individual liberties. Agriculture and food markets have insanely competitive dynamics because there are commodity markets, there are tons of competitors. There is no monopoly in making food, there is no monopoly in making CPG products, there is no monopoly in retail, there is no monopoly in grocery stores. It is a small margin, highly competitive, highly fragmented, free market. And the free market works in that everyone is always competing with each other, creating new productivity improvements, and as a result, over time, prices come down, except when the government intervenes and gets involved. So I would argue that the real cause of price inflation in food is not the supposed price gouging by corporate players in the ag and food industry, all of whom are deeply competitive with one another, but rather is the result of the inflation associated with government spending and stimulus coming out of COVID. Nick, Exhibit 1. The Fed balance sheet. From COVID to today, the Fed balance sheet grew from $4.2 trillion to $7.2 trillion, a growth of 70%. The Federal Reserve went out and they bought assets and they issued debt to banks and introduced liquidity into the system. If you go to the next slide, as a result, the M2 money supply increased from 15 trillion to 21 trillion since COVID, a 40% increase. Okay, so now there is more money in the system, so the cost of everything should go up, which is exactly what we've seen. We can walk through a couple of the other commodity price charts from the St. Louis Fed. Here is the price of electricity. As an example, the price of electricity has gone up a little bit less than the M2 money supply. But the truth is, when you start to actually look at ag commodity prices over time, what's happened is there was certainly a boost coming from COVID, but the competition and the challenges in overproduction in the ag markets has started to hit and started to bring prices back down. So here's the price of strawberries. Strawberries today are selling for less than they were pre-COVID. Potatoes are now back to where they were pre-COVID. Now, let me give you some statistics on some of the supposed price gouging companies in the industry. Kraft Heinz stock pre-COVID was $29 a share. Today, Kraft Heinz stock is $34 a share. 2019 revenue of $25 billion, 2023 revenue of $26 billion. EBITDA in 2019 of $6.1 billion, EBITDA in 2023 of $6.3 billion. There's not a lot of profit gouging. In fact, Kraft Heinz has not been able to keep up with the inflation.
What is EBITDA?
I was going to ask that.
I think long story short is what he's saying is the big businesses are not doing good. They're not making a lot of money either. It's not just the middle class, even the elites aren't even eating right now.
Yeah, she's trying to, he's basically saying her plan saying that the corporate companies have been price gouging, which is why we're having such a problem with the higher grocery prices. And he's just pulling up the stats and data to prove that that's actually not the case. And so in some forms they're doing and better, the stocks are doing better and their numbers are back pre-COVID. So they're not really gaining as much money as you would think from the higher grocery rates, which is what the Kamala campaign is trying to present it as. The inflation and other things are affecting the higher prices that we've been seeing. I think that's the point he was trying to make.
EBITDA is earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization.
Okay, so they made $6 billion before interest.
And today, by virtually every measure, our economy is the strongest in the world. Still, we know that many Americans don't yet feel that progress in their daily lives. Costs are still too high. And on a deeper level, for too many people, no matter how much they work, it feels so hard to just be able to get ahead.
Today, Kamala Harris announced the first set of proposals designed to allay some of those fears or concerns about the state of the economy. And for a number of those, we don't have a lot of specifics, but we do have some general guidelines and a few specifics that I think are worthy of discussion. Now, the first proposal that she made has to do with fighting price gouging.
But all of these are very, very popular. So now that leads me to my general point, which is well played, really well played. So there's the policy and then there's the politics. In the terms of the politics, this puts Trump and the Republicans on the defensive. So they're having to say, oh, no, we shouldn't do those proposals. And what people hear is we should keep housing prices really high. We should keep drug prices really high. You should be stuck with medical debt. So when they go to make the counter argument, they're screwed. So whoever's handling strategy here for the Harris-Walz campaign, well, tip of the hat. This is good stuff. This is great stuff. On the policy end, everybody's saying this is price controls. And by the way, corporations are freaked out because it's not just right-wing media. All of a sudden, Washington Post columnists on cable news, on CNN, MSNBC going, this is bad. This is price controls. Wait a minute, she didn't say price controls. Because if she said price controls, I'd be out here telling you that's a bad idea. They're not wrong that price controls don't work, in my opinion. Okay, and I could have a fight with a leftist on that, but that's not fundamentally correct economic policy. It does have counterproductive. But she didn't say price controls. So I read it carefully to make sure that I understood what she was saying. And granted, like the minutia of the policy is not laid out. There's no bill yet, right? But based on what she said, she's going after price gouging and enabling the government agencies to do that. Wow, that's so radical. That already exists.
So it's giving more power to the government?
They control the price of the product or how much it get made or tariff or tax. That's what I think. Because it's a free market. So like, okay, I gotta say if we all sell apples, right? But you charge your apples $12, but you got more of a competition. I have to sell my apples cheaper so I could compete with you, so I could have more customers to come in to buy. But what they was trying to say is that y'all gonna sell it at one given price. That's what I think.
As far as the apples, though, I think it is like that, though. You can't go buy a different type of apple.
But everyone doesn't have to sell it for the same price.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, you do in a grocery store.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Walmart don't gotta sell the same as Kroger.
Well, I know, but like the government gives you the set price. I'm pretty
No, you
sure.
don't. It's a free market.
There's no set
So you
price
bought
by
it
the
from
government.
Yeah, it's who you
farmer?
from. That's why like free market is like. That's why I said we could like you could compete.
That
So
makes it,
Yeah, so if I'm trying
Less
to compete
government
with
control.
you, if I'm trying to compete with you, you sell apples for $6.50. I'm gonna sell apples for $6.25.
So what is Kamala trying to do?
make everyone price.
Set price.
I know that's what I was trying to say. Like that's a bad thing.
That is a bad thing. Yeah.
Because why he can't afford
But he
to
made
buy
it like that she wasn't trying to do that.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. He said that's not what her plan is, but
Well,
then
yeah, I
what is-
mean, you know, they are kind of like in the middle.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So I mean, but I was gonna say though, you know what's crazy? I just thought about. I said, bro, what if? Because that, like, seeing that chart on the plastic clip, like, why don't they be able to use like images and charts and a presentation at a debate? Because I feel like you would get grilled right there in front of the American people.
Quick, I think.
Bro, but you can give time to do that. That's important.
They should have like debates on certain topics. Like, okay, today the debate is on this, and then that way they can come present the evidence.
Because what Kamala says and what Obama said didn't like sound bad. It sounded good. But if you're able to expose them in 4K, then
the only reason it
that's the
sounds
proof
good
right
because
there.
you don't think about where the money gonna come from and how you gonna pay for it. You think the government gonna pay for it, but really you're paying for it in the long run.
But how can we get those people that are brainwashed to if we have a debate amongst words, that doesn't go as far as on paper.
Some people believe, the government print and make money anyway, so it shouldn't matter.
Well, they're dumb.
Well, it affected everyone these last 4 years.
Well, I'm
so,
probably tripping for saying that, but some people do.
Some people do it. I've talked to somebody like that, and they said, brother, why? I said, brother, the economy is bad. He said, well, brother, why do you care about the price that's going up? You're making money in America. It's about your safety. You want a dictator in the office, brother. The black man's going to be...
Who said that to you?
I be just talking to people, man.
People don't realize
guys.
our currency is trying to fight against other countries' currency. So like
it's a competition.
So if we have more of it out for availability, it's worth less. Do people the value of something costs more when it's less of it? You know?
Yeah. It's like when some Jordans drop and there's not that many, the price is high.
Supply and demand.
I feel like that's basic common sense.
But with some regular Nikes, you can go get them right now.
We gotta live in reality, bro. People's not living in reality. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's some type of regulation going on because like not everybody could just sell their farmed goods to HEB, because like.
But it's so much competition. But it's so much competition. Yeah. Like, okay, in Michigan, it's so many markets with berries. Like, it's so many farmers. Like, you could have a small farmer that sell berries to a corporation and stuff. So it's like you could control your price. So like, say if I really want to get this off, if I got a big bundle, I'm like, I'm gonna sell my set price at this. But Billy of the street said he's selling his for like a certain amount. It's like,
But now Kamala's basically trying to do is get the small farmer and the big farmer to sell it at one price.
No, she's pretty much like what some people think that. I don't know if I'm wrong or right, y'all can tell me in the comment section.
We're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, we're trying to figure this out because I don't.
The economy one's a little bit more. I mean, it's not hard.
It's harder.
It's not
only people that could pretty much survive in these situations are big corporations because they got enough money. But like small businesses, if they have like control on prices, it's kind of harder for them to survive in the market pretty much because it's more expensive to like maintain that. I think.
Okay. No. makes sense because that is a big issue. Because when we was in the barbershop with Byron and them, they were talking about the black small farmer. Yeah, they was basically talking about the small farmer and how could they benefit with being Republican and stuff like that. So that is a thing, you know. He has some stuff for that. So we need to do a little. Yeah, we need to find a video on some. I guess we kind of know. Kind of.
Let me say.
I'm gonna do a little more reading.
What stands out to you as the most clear and effective line of attack that we're likely going to hear from Republicans as a response?
Two things. I think number one, she took a lot of far left positions during her first run in 2019 and 2020. She has, temporarily kind of moderated these through some anonymous quotes from aides saying, well, she doesn't really want to ban fracking anymore. She doesn't want to do this, doesn't want to do that. This new program that she's kind of doing is pretty far left, $25,000, price controls essentially. That's number one. But the other thing is, kind of conveniently forgot she was vice president for the last 4 years when a lot of the housing market crisis was at its worst, when inflation was at its worst. So there's a lot of memory holding that. But look, when it comes to the $25K, I mean, you just added $25,000 into every price on every home price in the country. Because if you're giving that away essentially for free, people will add it into the price. And obviously, price controls have come under criticism from the Washington Post, Catherine Rampell, whom this channel's talked to earlier. So you're going to see a lot of that in the messaging over the next couple of days, if not weeks, as we go into the convention.
Well, first thing I saw was a searing indictment of the conditions in the country. She was very effective at laying out just how hard hit the American people have been by the policies of the Biden-Harris agenda. I mean, inflation is the number one issue, food prices, housing costs, the housing shortage. All of that is absolutely true. And she and Joe Biden are in charge, and she has directly cast votes that have led to these conditions. So I don't know how she plans to separate herself from Joe Biden on this, because everything she talked about today, she has a direct hand in. The other thing that I picked up on today was this whole notion that price gouging, or gauging, as she called it, is what people are feeling. That is a total canard. This is not true. This is made up because they're trying to deflect attention from the actual inflation that has caused everything in your life to get more expensive. So they need the American people to believe something other than the truth. There is no price gouging. Grocery stores, these things, they operate on very slim profit margins. There is no gouging. There is just inflation. So to go out and say, I'm going to get the federal government involved in setting prices or capping prices or interrupting the flow of the free market economy, let me tell you something. If you like bread lines, product shortages, black markets, hoarding, if you want to recreate the happy economic conditions of The Walking Dead, Kamala Harris has a plan for you. The bottom line is the Republicans are going to be all over this. It's not smart, and it's a plan from a ticket that has no private sector experience and no interest whatsoever in taking responsibility for everything they have done to plunge the working class of the United States of America into an economic crisis.
Every single Democratic administration, whether it was Clinton or Obama, and now we're seeing with Biden-Harris, you've seen there be a reckoning and a right-sizing of the metrics that affect people's lives. This is not me this is not a political ploy or game. This is just data and facts. Everyone knows that trickle-down economics never worked. Everyone knows that the Republican shtick about being better for the economy has never actually worked for real people. So the fact that when we go shopping at the grocery store as, regular humans with kids who are trying to feed them, we know that the prices have changed. But the fact that, they deny that is the problem and the fallacy and the disconnect from actual voters.
Prices are up about 20%.
Can I just respond?
Yeah,
I'm going
to let you respond. Prices are up about 20%. But this week, inflation was at its lowest point since 2021. So, Scott, when you hear what Aisha is saying, what is your response?
Well, it's just simply not true that the economy is good right now, and it's not good from a price perspective, and it's just not good in the minds of everyday people. Look at the polls. The economic anxiety is the overriding problem in the election. It's why, among other things, that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's administration has a mid-30s approval rating. It's food prices, it's housing costs. So to say that somehow the economy is only bad under Republicans and Joe Biden has fixed it, if that were true, if Joe Biden were the savior of this economy, he would not have been run out of town by his own party and another candidate put in at the last minute. If anything about what was just said was true, Joe Biden would still be running for president. Under Donald Trump,
That's
people
actually
felt
not what I
better
said. So
about
don't twist
their
my
own
words,
lives.
Scott. That's not what I said. That's not what I said. I didn't say
That's
that everything is great right now. What I said is that it's better
You
than
did.
Trump. And those are facts and that's data.
Well,
yeah. So the
data.
Biden administration came in and cleaned up
Then why,
your
then, why,
guys'
then why isn't Biden running?
And it is
then why
better
isn't Biden
by
running?
every
Then why isn't
metric.
Biden running?
Why are we in a 40-year high inflation?
Then why isn't Biden
Because
running?
Kamala
If he
Harris
is so
is
good,
running
why isn't he running?
on the same record. Kamala Harris is running on the same record, dude. Catch
Oh.
up with us, right? You want to keep having
I love it.
arguments
Print.
about things
Print.
that are over, right? But catch
Crashed
up
out.
with us. Where we are today and the candidate that we have absolutely has had a hand in cleaning up the last guy's mess.
Cleaning
And the
up the
economy
mess.
is on an upward trajectory, and we are going to continue that over the next 4 years.
You gave me everything I needed. Kamala Harris is running on everything that
You
Joe
need a
Biden
lot,
did. Print it,
Bob.
frame it, hang it in the loop. I love it.
It's a Friday. Y'all go and have a drink. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Cheers. Thank
Cheers.
you.
Her argument was that
Scott, my nigga,
Republicans in office doesn't help the everyday person's financial.
Well, Trump's
you know?
record
Nigga, we
would
lived
say
under
otherwise.
it. We lived
That's what
under
I'm
it.
saying. Everyone-
Forget all this
everyone-
fool, all this talking, man. We lived under it,
seen
guys.
And then on top
Forget
of
the
that,
chart.
it's like they're
Okay.
like only rich people get rich with Trump. Trump's trying to help the rich. That's what they say.
Let's say if this chart is bullshit, and let's go into
Guess
our
how
real
much-
life experience.
Guess how much a honey bun costs now?
I ain't even looked at that. Is it $3, brother?
It's
Don't tell me it's
$100.
It's 150.
Stupid ass. They used to be 99 or 89 or 79.
They are.
They used to be 50
Pretty soon
cents.
they're gonna be $100.
Honey bun used to be 50 cents in the gas station.
$100 for a honey bun.
I used to get 2 honey buns, and that used to be $1.
Man, they 150, bro. That's I ain't gonna lie, that is crazy.
I don't
A
need
honey
honey
bun
buns no
at
more.
150, yeah, I don't either. Like the meme said, we looking at the wall. It's nothing we can argue because somebody like who's right? Who's right? And all we can judge it off is what we lived in. That's why I feel like because somebody. I mean, the internet. I was gonna look up the shit on the internet. You can't even look shit up on the internet no more,
can't
man.
because the internet is biased.
Everybody got a agenda with this data shit, man.
Literally.
Data's canceled. We going off
Like
our
Andrew
real
Tate,
life
that's one thing Andrew
experiences.
Tate did say that he was like, the people are giving you the data who are trying to convince you of something. So the data, they made the data. I say, yeah.
That was a great point. That was the best point he
Who-
made in that whole
who-
thing.
That's like with the polls.
Okay, so what Kamala doing is not deregulation. That's what Trump trying to do. So that's the removal of regulations or restrictions
In the industry, yeah. So that's what we want. Let
Yeah.
people do them. Let the big meritocracy reign.
Okay, that makes sense. We're okay, and then regulation, yeah.
And I'm proud
Oh, yeah.
to be
Regulation?
an American.
They want to. The government wants to put something on to tax or not tax or tell you what you gonna sell your product as.
Yeah, you can't sell it for that much, man. That's too high, man.
And we gonna tax you this much, and we gonna put a tariff on anything that's
And then we're
going
gonna
on
send the money
out.
to Ukraine.
And then, yeah, and then we just not eating because you gonna try to tell me what my that's crazy. Yep, hey, I just don't know how that would how they decide
This
the
one is a
farmers
little
and all
more
that.
detailed and complex.
But
But the simplest form is they mess with your breed.
Yeah.
regulation, deregulate. That's
She's
pretty
trying to
simple,
stop
guys.
businesses from selling
But it
stuff
goes,
the way they
the only
want to
step
sell.
would be deeper to me. And like, how
I'm
do
pro-business.
how do they decide which farmers go to Kroger and HEB?
I
don't
don't
wanna
like
know that.
anything.
They don't control
I'm
that.
against anything that
The
is more
business
government
control
control. Get
that.
the power to the people.
Oh, so Kroger goes
So like,
out.
okay, say like farmers, like they put a tax on like beef because they said some environment shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they trying to do regulations on that. So now beef is gonna go up.
Yeah, price of beef is going
So like
back.
when they put like
they gotta replace that tax, that profit they lose by spending on that tax, so they're gonna charge more for it.
Exactly. The plug tax you got to tax them.
then you got to tax the
I
people.
wonder if
That's
they
the
do that on
comments.
Michael Jordan tennis shoes.
They probably do. That's why they probably cheap. Like they used to be like 150 back in the Gap
That's
Gap.
supply and demand, actually.
That's so.
All right, guys. Let's know what y'all think. We go. Hey, liberal media did turn on Kamala though, because the Washington Post said she basically was changing her policies and shit. So that's pretty crazy.
Kamalanism.
That's bad, guys. We gone.